excited to be at Mobile World Congress presenting with dotMobi. This is just an opportunity for us to be here and explain from our perspective how IP geolocation data actually works, where it's relevant, how it can help you form an immediate connection with your web visitors right out of the gate.
Today we're obviously exhibiting at MWC, and that's going very well. We're meeting a lot of our customers and new prospects. dotMobi was founded with the mission to help support and drive the growth of the mobile web, and that's the background to the solutions we provide today.
Hi everyone, my name is Bobo and I'm from GeneralManager.
Hello, I'm Leonard from dotMobi.
And we're here to talk to you today about something called mobile context and why it matters. But I'd first like to start by asking a rhetorical question. Do you think that your web presence is already optimized to engage web visitors however they reach your website? Or are you assuming that the customer is already engaged with your brand? And if you are assuming that, how safe is that assumption? We're here today to suggest that the best way of getting the first impression right for mobile web users is by using something called mobile contextual data to present the most relevant content optimized for the device. And as we all know, you only have one chance to make that first impression. So first of all, what is mobile context? And just to tell you a little bit about who we are. Again, I'm Bobo from GeneralManager. We are the pioneer and leading provider of something called IP intelligence, which is essentially data that is the basis by which you can determine the geographic location and connectivity type of web visitors based purely on an IP address. We're the underlying technology that enables many of the leading companies on the web to present location-relevant content to their web visitors in real time based solely on an IP address. And this is part of the mobile context equation.
Another part of what makes up the mobile context is device intelligence, which is a core part of dotMobi's expertise. dotMobi provides mobile and web technology solutions to leading organizations worldwide and is the top-level domain registry for the dotMobi domain. At dotMobi, we describe device intelligence as being deep awareness of the device used by a web visitor in real time. And this intelligence is used to support a wide range of use cases, such as analytics, targeting, content adaptation, and ad serving, and more.
So last year, dotMobi and GeneralManager got together, John and I got together, to see if there may be some overlaps in our respective offerings. And what we found by working together is that there are some powerful applications that reside at the intersection of IP intelligence and device intelligence. And this is what we're calling mobile context intelligence, which is essentially knowing the geographic location and connectivity type of a mobile web visitor using only IP intelligence and device intelligence, doing this in real time. This combination of data sets has already proven to be a powerful tool for companies to engage their mobile web audience with relevant content at the very first interaction without opt-in barriers or privacy-invasive techniques, providing real valuable content to web visitors from the first impression, improving response rates and encouraging greater levels of engagement. We think of it as a critical first layer of a mobile engagement strategy, and we're excited to tell you more about it today.
So, how much does this matter? Perhaps the first question is, or how important is this? You'll have heard a lot about mobile first this week at MWC. The IBM benchmark reports of 2013 recorded mobile visitors dominating traffic in the UK on the 26th of December, with 58% of all traffic to major UK retailers. This is a huge increase on 2012, with a 42% uplift. And this was the first time IBM recorded mobile as dominating the figures. And in this case, mobile includes smartphones, tablets, as against non-desktop browsers. Obviously, that rate of change can't keep up for long. In this measurement, tablet and smartphone are approximately evenly split numerically. although completed transactions are significantly higher on tablet than smartphone, which suggests that the use cases are different. It may also suggest that the user experience on smartphone is not yet where it needs to be. Interestingly, despite the considerable Android penetration in the UK, iOS still dominates both web traffic and transaction results. So businesses can be expected to keep a strong focus on iOS while that situation persists.
This also won't come as a shock to anyone, but there's a lot of real money in mobile. It's clearly the fastest growing segment of internet dollars. Just looking at mobile commerce on the left, you see in 2009, mobile e-commerce represented $1.2 billion. In 2015, that number is projected to be $119 billion. Still, that's just 10% of the total online commerce, but it is growing much more rapidly, something on the order of over 100% compound annual growth rate each year. And looking at mobile internet ad spending on the right, you'll see that growth rates vary by region, but globally, eMarketer worldwide projects growth of 20 to 30% over the next few years, and even stronger growth in Western Europe and North America. So this won't surprise anyone here, but it's kind of a big deal.
However, here's where things start to get a little challenging. For the first decade of the web, it was only necessary to worry about a handful of different browsers: Netscape Navigator, Internet Explorer, subsequently Mozilla Firefox, and others. Morgan Stanley referred to 10-year technology cycles, and the web is approximately following that pattern. In the second decade of the web, a lot started to happen. Devices became more capable, data plans got cheaper, content better tailored, and a virtuous circle developed. The iPad launch in 2010 was nearly as dramatic as the iPhone release in 2007 in terms of its impact on user behaviors. Perhaps the most notable shift that occurred over the period was from web browsers being either portable or capable to becoming both portable and capable. Suddenly, browsing was happening everywhere. Fast forward to today, and we can see that it's only just beginning. We can expect to see browsers everywhere you look pretty soon. Already we're seeing wearables, appliances, and automobiles as new categories. Interestingly, portable and capable can no longer be assumed. Here's a question: is it really optimal to serve exactly the same content in all these different cases? Or is that just the easiest thing to do? Wouldn't it be nice to be able to be a little more proactive than that? In addition to the diversity of device types, the developer has to worry about every layer in the technology stack. The trend is that intelligence is moving up the stack, and browsers are becoming increasingly powerful. And when the user changes the browser on the device, the capabilities of the overall device change. It's necessary to know the current real-time state of the device, since this is a key part of the indicators of mobile context, in order to optimize the content delivered.
And not only do we have to worry about device and operating system complexity, we also have to think about connectivity complexity. And when it comes to mobile, it's important to remember that there's a difference between a mobile device and a mobile connection. Just because someone's on a mobile device does not mean that their connection is actually mobile. We have three basic internet connection types: wired, mobile, and Wi-Fi. And while traditional wired methods of connections are still growing, mobile and Wi-Fi traffic is proliferating. And as we'll show in a few minutes, understanding connectivity type is an important piece of mobile context. Another important lever in understanding connectivity is the carrier and country location of the web visitor. And here again, the carrier picture is a complex one that changes based on country. There are a lot of different potential use cases of carrier data, which we'll touch on in a minute. And understanding the location of a web visitor has long been an important targeting variable for marketers, starting with the simple tailoring of content to the currency and language of the web visitor, to more refined location targeting applications. But to summarize, there is no question that mobile represents a big opportunity for all kinds of businesses. Web traffic is increasingly shifting towards mobile, and we're just at the tip of the iceberg. And mobile advertising and commerce dollars are following the traffic. Tackling that opportunity, though, can be difficult for marketers due to the complex nature of the mobile ecosystem. It is an ecosystem that is fraught with complexity in device type, from screen size, device capabilities and operating environments, and complexity in connectivity. Is the person connecting via wired, mobile, Wi-Fi? Which carrier is providing that connection? And where is the person coming from geographically? Understanding and dealing with that complexity is critical to taking advantage of the mobile opportunity.
A key point to highlight is that users engage differently in different environments. Leading brands such as TripAdvisor understand their different user needs and deliver accordingly. A difference immediately apparent across their different experiences is that laptop and tablet views are geared towards research and planning a vacation. The smartphone view is more about the now, and the priorities are accordingly different. The smartphone knows precisely where it is, and the first option presented to the user is near me now, followed by hotels and restaurants. These are good options that you're very likely to need when on vacation, as against to when you're researching it. But here's a further example of the degree of optimization which takes place under the covers. What stands out here is that Google serve a totally different page to different visitors, although visually very similar. This is distinct from TripAdvisor, who provide a significantly different experience, according to the user context, as well as adjusting to the device capabilities. Now, the Google homepage is non-typical in its simplicity. However, the page weight variations they deliver are astonishing. For a desktop browser visitor, they deliver close to 1.2 megabytes, the vast majority of which is JavaScript. On the iPhone, it reduces to below 800 kilobytes. For the Lumia 820, for example, it's below 200 kilobytes. But the really remarkable delivery is to low-end devices such as the Nokia 6300, BlackBerry Curve, and others, which receive a 4 kilobyte page, which contains no JavaScript at all. It's almost invisible on the graph. You can imagine the loading speed under almost any degree of connectivity constraints. Finally, most leading web properties take a similar approach. eBay, Facebook, Amazon, Target, AccuWeather, TripAdvisor, etc. In general, where there is interaction with the site rather than just consumption of media or content, this approach delivers very strong engagement. So what are the rewards from this optimization? Fast page loading. Long wait times for pages to load are frequently cited as a cause of abandonment. Minimized data plan impact. Although the user may not see this directly, for roaming users it has a huge impact. It's a huge factor. Improved engagement. If the page is well presented and snappy, the user will not only engage more, but will remember the experience positively. Finally, better network utilization. Again, this is invisible to the end user, but reduced infrastructure cost and more capacity become available at multiple levels. Web server, mobile network, backhaul. Finally, it's worth highlighting a particular example. At dotMobi, we ran a test of a website with a roaming subscription and loaded the home page, just one page of one website. That home page was very large, but by itself it resulted in a bill of $360. So the ironic part was that that site was supposedly mobile optimized. One page, $360. So how do you actually achieve this optimization? First of all, what information is available to you? Device information. Everything you need to know about the device capabilities delivered at the moment of arrival of your visitor. Details about the hardware, screen size, NFC, network capabilities, etc. Details about the OS version, browser. It also distinguishes between crawlers, desktop browsers, and all devices to be found on the web.
And connection type data. Is the person on a wired, mobile, or Wi-Fi connection? Who is the mobile carrier providing that connection? And what is the web visitor's location? All of these data levers are available in real time, without opt-in solicitation barriers, and without resorting to privacy-invasive techniques like cookies. Down the road, you may get the user's interest in engaging with you at deeper levels, and this might include cookie permissions, but you cannot assume that you will get past that initial first impression hurdle if the web visitor doesn't immediately see content that is relevant to them, properly delivered to their device. This is where mobile context data can help make the best first impression, provide relevant content to the web visitor in an optimized format, and move them along the path towards greater engagement.
So what's in the box? The mobile context solution is packaged to provide a high-performance delivery vehicle for the data in any environment. It can be embedded in products and services or used within the enterprise for different use cases. Key points are that it's compact, resilient, and fast. On a $500 server, it will deliver over 1.7 million detections per second.
Great, so now let's look at a handful of case studies. Examples where the application of mobile context data is helping to present optimized first impressions to web visitors, firstly for a mobile publisher in an advertising context, secondly for a mobile carrier, and thirdly for a mobile commerce site. We'll also take a quick look at how this is being done quite easily with our mobile context intelligence data. And as I think you'll see, while the mobile ecosystem is quite complex, it can be tamed quite easily with data levers that are entirely under your control. So firstly, let's look at the mobile publisher case study. This is a stylized example of, let's say, a mobile publisher called the New Times. What we see here are two renderings of the same mobile site with some subtle but important differences. First, you see the screen size obviously is customized to fit an iPhone 5 on the left and then an iPad on the right. Now look at the two banner ads displayed. On the left, we see a static image for The Hobbit, which is rendered taking into consideration the phone's mobile cell tower connection. This image is of a smaller file size, it loads more quickly, and it respects the user's data plan. It provides them with an opt-in option to view the video, but it doesn't presume to begin showing that right out of the gate. On the right, we see a Wi-Fi connected iPad, and a streaming video version of the same ad is displayed on this Wi-Fi connected device. Clearly, it's a more compelling ad, but it's also more bandwidth intensive and better displayed over Wi-Fi, where the bandwidth is sufficient to load the ad quickly and there are no data plan considerations. So let's look at how this is achieved. So this is in sort of a stylized campaign management interface, which could be either within the publisher's own ad serving platform or a third-party ad serving platform, depending on how the advertising is configured. You'll see that options exist for ads targeted by device type, connection type, and country and language. Once these criteria are selected and the advertising assets are uploaded, it is simply a matter of using mobile contextual data to show the right ad to the right device and connection type. So seeing this in action in a little more detail, the requesting device arrives at the publisher web server. The publisher web server passes IP address and mobile device headers to an ad server with our device atlas solution embedded. Again, this could be an internal ad server or a third-party ad server, depending on how the advertising is configured. The ad server retrieves data from the embedded device atlas solution, which in this case tells it the device type, the screen size, and connectivity type, wired, mobile, or Wi-Fi. And then the publisher web server returns the appropriate ad, customized to the device, the screen size, and the connectivity of the end user, which we saw a couple slides ago.
Let's look at a second case study about a mobile carrier website. And let's look initially from the end user perspective. So I'm a generally happy prepaid subscriber to Poolcom. One day on my commute on a train, I see a billboard advertisement with great offers for AmberNet. So I use a Samsung Galaxy S2, which works great, very happy with it, but it's now 3 years old. So I look up AmberNet on my cell phone. And the landing page proposes a Galaxy S4 with a compelling data plan. So how do they do that? Here's what they know for sure. They know for sure that I'm using a Samsung Galaxy S2. They know for sure that I'm a PoolNet subscriber. And they also know, based on the data provided, that this device launched in 2011, so I'm likely in the market for an upgrade. So in real time, they're able to send me to a tailored landing page with the best chance of convincing me to subscribe to AmberNet. If I were to visit on a tablet, they could still offer me a phone. There's always a chance I don't have one. From an architectural perspective, the solution is deployed locally within AmberNet's web infrastructure. For every inbound visitor, it provides information about the device and the connection in real time. This is then used to determine the optimal content to serve, whether it be a standard homepage, a mobile-friendly page, or a landing page carrying a specific offer, all within the same URL. The term optimal content can be considered from two perspectives, both the marketing and technical points of view. The solution provides rich information permitting precise tailoring of the content to the device so that it renders quickly and is correctly sized for the screen.
So finally, let's look at the case of a stylized mobile commerce site. Let's call it buyitnow.com. Transnational mobile commerce sites can be fairly tricky when you're trying to get language, currency, and form factor correct in a variety of locations. But here again is where mobile context data can make this quite simple. So a web visitor in the UK on the left goes to buyitnow.com on their mobile phone and is automatically directed to the UK version of the site, which is buyitnow.co.uk, with the correct language and currency. Also tailored to the correct device type, which is an iPhone 5. In the second example, on the iPad, a web visitor in Spain goes to buyitnow.com and is automatically directed to the Spanish version of the site, buyitnow.es, with the correct language and currency, this time tailored to fit the iPad screen. So again, a similar process with the web visitor arriving at the mobile commerce site, the mobile commerce site passing the device headers and IP address to the device atlas solution with digital element data embedded. Our solution derives the knowledge of the device and country location, which is used to figure out the currency and language of the web visitor, and then the targeted offerings are displayed. So the key point I would make is that with all of these applications, the mobile ecosystem of devices and connectivity are quite complex, but they can be rendered very simple with mobile context data, which allows messaging to be tailored in the most engaging way right out of the gate to mobile web visitors.
If you're in the business intelligence area, there are more aspects that can be looked at. For example, the ability to measure network performance by operator over time. This works by implementing the real-time connectivity measurement capability in conjunction with the mobile carrier lookup and storing the results for analysis. Once the traffic can be measured or understood, the possibilities are endless.
To summarize with some recommendations. Firstly, you only get one chance to make a first impression. Make sure it's a good one. Secondly, focus on what you can know in advance and put it to use. The winners are those who use available data the best.
Thirdly, target the low-hanging fruit and grow from there. It's a journey, and the landscape is changing rapidly. Nobody can see very far into the future. Finally, select the right partners so that you can be sure that landscape changes will be dealt with by them, allowing you to focus on your core business. dotMobi and Digital Elements' combined solution delivers that real-time data, or mobile context intelligence, right at the point of need.
Just had a question on how your approach fits in with responsive design, using responsive to make the experience cater to mobile.
Now, responsive web design is a very powerful technique for adapting the layout to the different screen sizes available. And it has the advantage that you're just delivering identical content to every visitor, irrespective, and the layout will adjust dynamically to the device. But many people increasingly are moving beyond responsive web design to a technique called RESS, which factors in server-side capabilities as well as client-side, so you deliver the best of both worlds. You know all about your visitor before they arrive, so you can tailor the content and get the best of advanced information combined with responsive web design techniques to tailor to the device on arrival.
Thank you, everyone, for your time today.
So, thank you very much for coming.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of what you see in the mobile universe these days sort of presupposes that you have a engagement with your customer already, but what our solution does is on the front end of that, it's really the first impression when the mobile web visitor arrives at your website. How do you present them with relevant content in real time without any kind of opt-in solicitation barriers to get them to engage with you and then move further along that path of engagement. And ours is a solution that allows you to do that right out of the gate.
If you can ensure that every visitor engages more, if you can make changes and improvements which give you a 10% higher engagement rate, so that your bounce rate goes down, you get a higher engagement rate, you are able to immediately measure the benefits of actually serving tailored content to those visitors.